then I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. No, maybe it does.
Words, they don't make sense anymore.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down Once More. I've got Brad back with me for our second episode in March. So, Brad, welcome again.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
You're welcome. I am going to have to stop inviting you because I realized when I was editing the last one and doing the teaser trailer of the clips that you're better at this than me, and I don't think I can have that. So this might be your last appearance.
As the older brother, I think that's perfectly reasonable. I think it'd be embarrassing for me to eclipse you on your own podcast. So
exactly,
please get rid of me as soon as it's necessary for your own
well,
ego.
I did promise we would do Matilda together. So, spoiler alert, we're not doing Matilda this week. I did not get a chance to watch it. We will be doing that for our review at the end of March. So, that'll be coming in 2 weeks after this. I think what the problem is, you're more, say, traditionally clever on your own. I can be reactionarily clever. I need something else. I'm like, my brain's fried. It was a long week at work. Like, I'm like, I don't have it in me. So,
is
you might
that
have
your
to
way
carry
of
it
saying that? Hey, I'll do what I can. Just put it on my back. No, is that your way of saying that you're not
Yeah.
actually funny? You just have to piggyback on other people being funny?
Pretty much. Like, I've always acknowledged that. That's usually what it is. Like, there has to be something situationally that I have to piggyback off of. Like, I, on my own, nothing. Jack shit.
Fair enough.
There have been moments where, like, I'm like, this is funny. It's a reaction. And I'm like, I should tweet it. And then I'm like, who the fuck am I going to tweet it to? My 50 followers that half of them are porn bots? No, actually, that's a lie. I have like 170 followers and half of them are porn bots. So
I'm unfamiliar with the concept of a porn bot. Is this a bot that only looks at porn? And if so, why are they following you?
No, it is. I mean, I think it's a bot that basically just plugs someone's OnlyFans page.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine explaining the concept of social media bots plugging a woman's OnlyFans page to Grandpa and Grandma Buzzboom? Think about what the greatest generation would have to say about, hey, we discovered a tool that contains all of human knowledge and can connect us with anybody around the globe. Oh, that's incredible. Like, what are you doing with it? Like solving hunger, world peace, mostly tits.
Yeah, mostly tits and ass. That's right. On that note,
well,
what was your well?
Maybe that's the name of this episode. Mostly tits and ass.
Mostly, I think I'd have to do TNA just to be safe.
Yeah,
mostly TNA.
Yeah, this is a family production. You're bleeping
I think
all
that goes back to
swear words, right?
Right. Only on clips. That goes back to me not being creative on my own. If you've noticed, the podcast titles recently have just been what the fuck the podcast episode is. I used to. Sometimes inspiration will strike, and I'll have a good title. And this time, Brad had to come up with the title. So you're just further supporting my statement. But what we're doing this week,
coming up with the title. Really quick, I want to just give you an idea. There's this YouTube channel that sometimes I watch his video for like tool reviews and stuff. But every single video, I swear to God, it's 99% of woodworkers don't know fill in the blank thing that he's plugging that week. And it's the same clickbaity formula every time. Maybe you could try that. It's like 99% of musical fans won't listen to this podcast in hopes to just raise your market share up to just 1%.
Yeah, I don't hate that. We could try it. 1% would be good, but we already have the title for this one. So that our Matilda podcast will be 99% of musical fans haven't watched this musical or don't know this musical. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just create
What we're
outrage.
doing this week, we are bringing back our super fun game show, Shut the Fuck Up, which, if you have not watched before, is just a finish the lyrics game where we don't actually play the music because, I mean, we're currently small enough that they're not going to come after us for copyright infringement. But I don't want to have to go back and retroactively edit this once Brad's taken over the pod and it's grown. So we're just what we do is we each create a playlist with 8 to 10 songs, send it to each other, and when it's that person's turn, like when it's Brad's turn, I will have his playlist. I will hit shuffle. The song that comes up, I will then select a chunk of lyrics in there, read a line or two. Now you can use your best judgment, and then Brad will be expected to finish the lyrics, to give the next five lyrics in there, not 5 lines, just 5 words. It's pretty straightforward. There are so for example, let's say I am going to do the song, I don't know why, I'm just gonna pick random. Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan. And I would scroll and I would say, your voice only trembles when you try to speak. And then you would have to say the next 5 words. There are some lifelines at play and bonuses. When I say the title of the song, you can choose to double the song. And what that is you would get double the points. So the scoring, I'm all over the place.
But I have to decide I'm going to double it when you say the title.
Yep, you have to decide when I say the title, not the section of the lyrics. So each word you get right to the 5 is worth a point. So you can get up to 5 points per normal one. If you double it, you can get 10 points, but it's an all or nothing thing. So if you only know 4 of the words, then you get nothing. Other lifelines is you have 2 skips. You have an offensive skip and a defensive skip. So if I gave you a song title and you're like, I don't really feel comfortable with that one, I want to try for another one, then I would hit skip, like fast forward on your playlist and go to the next song. If I get one that you're fairly confident I know for my song when you come to it on the playlist, you can choose to skip it defensively and bank on me not knowing the next one as well. So the defensive skip has not been used yet in any of our episodes that we have it. You also have the opportunity What?
Can I just make one slight suggestion about the defensive skip? Since
sure.
we are the ones that compiled the playlist based on songs that we know, I'm assuming that you know all of them.
Bold assumption.
So I think a defensive skip instead of a defensive skip, a defensive doubling would be.
So you can make it where
sabotage.
If they get they get all of them, or they get none.
No, they have to. Well, you could either do it that way, or they have to give 10 words. Dealer's choice, whichever you. What do you think is the better sabotage?
So we did originally, when we started doing it, we had a history lesson for you since you don't watch the podcast. Is that the double was you had to do twice as many words. I watch them all the time. You had to do twice as many words.
That's why I brought that up. That's what I meant.
That's why.
My deep knowledge of the podcast and its
I like
history.
That. Let's do it where you make them have to get 10 words. I like that. We will try it out.
Love it.
If it sticks, it sticks. I'm always open. That's what I said. I'm open for suggestions, changes thing. So it's a defensive double. And then there's also a shuffle. So if I give you a section of the song and you're like, fuck, I don't know that one, I'm on a shuffle. I already used skip, so we're using shuffling. So you skip to another portion in the song and you would get another chance. If you use that, though, you only get half the points. So the maximum amount of points you can get that time is 2.5. You can't use it on a double. So, like, if you double, you're locked into that whatever set of lyrics. And you can, so the phone playlist shuffle algorithm, whatever you want to call it, decides which song by because you're using shuffle on there, but you get to choose the portion of the song that the lyrics are from for the next person. So you can be
perfect.
You could choose to be a dick, but it could bite you in the ass. So,
well,
I'm still formally considering you a guest. So I will give you the option if you want to go first or second.
I want to know how many points I need. I'm going to go first. Or I'm going to go second. Sorry, I'm going to go second. Okay, I'm not pulling the 49ers here.
I was going to say, you almost
Super Bowl flashback.
Screwed the pooch there. Okay.
Also,
so you want to go second?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go second. What? So I'm going to hit shuffle.
My playlist, yes, correct.
We have the song Jack Daniels and Jesus.
I'm going to keep it regular. I'm not doubling. I'm not using any bonuses. But I'm good with that song.
I felt what living is, what it's like to live dead.
I've taken a ride in the devil's Cadillac. That's over 5.
Yes.
I'm locking it in.
Yep.
Is correct?
Yep. That's perfect. Correct. Sorry, I didn't know that it was like a lock-in situation. You could change it. Yes, I gave it away, but very good. That is 5.
Okay. Perfect. Yes, there. I will give you the option on everything to confirm that you want to lock in the lyrics. So,
okay,
should have given you that heads up, but you do have the option. Both of my pens.
Well, thank God you didn't get it wrong.
I know that one. I felt fairly confident in. I could have doubled that one, but I didn't know what portion of the words you were going to choose. So,
if you're having a problem with some of your pens, the best. Yeah, I won't be able to. The best brand is this wonderful writing utensil, and I can't do it. Sorry. It's a writing utensil emporium called Pen Island, and they make the best pens. But just go to penisland.com.
I take it back. Naturally clever. Nope.
It's just
nope.
Traditionally clever if you were 13.
God. Okay. All right. So it's time for your first song.
Anyway.
I haven't looked at your playlist yet, so I don't know what to expect with this. We have one of the same songs on both of our playlists.
We sure do.
So, okay. Your song is Flatland Boy by Eric Dillon.
I'm going to keep that song.
Okay.
Hey, fun story about this song and this whole album. So Flatland Boy is the first track of the album of the same name by Eric Dillon, and it was his first LP. And I think it's one of the top 5 country albums that's come out in like the last 15 years. It's incredible, really? And nobody knows it.
I was going to say, I do not know the artist or the song.
Yeah. So Eric Dillon's, he's primarily a songwriter at this point in his career. And he's done a lot of stuff with Luke Combs, a whole bunch of people that you'd recognize, but people don't know his music itself. And this album's amazing. So I decided, I'm going to buy this record. And I went to his store, support the artist. And I received it. And I got, in his handwriting, with his home address on the return label, a signed copy of the record, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'm planning a road trip to see him. Eric, thanks for your hospitality. I'm assuming that was an invitation for him sending it from his home address. He was inviting me to come over. So we're going to jam. It's going to be awesome.
Did you Google Maps it? Like, is that how you know it's a home and not like a business address? Did you plug this?
Why would I try to find the street view of Eric Dillon's home? What are you insinuating by suggesting that, Matt? I don't know what you're talking about. No, I definitely didn't Google Maps his house and then try to drop the little man and see if I could, see what his house looks like.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So what are the lyrics? What do I got to finish?
Okay, so screaming revolution on a 6-pack high.
So depending on where it's at in the song, the first word is going to be a little bit fluid. So let me just
the first
work
time
this.
this phrase pops up in the song.
So they can kick us around, but they can't destroy the heart of a flatland boy.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think. At one point, it's preceded by a yeah. Then at another point, it switches to a you can kick us around, but you can't destroy. But I think this first instance is going to be a they, and I don't think there's a yeah. So I'm going to go with they can kick us around, but they can't destroy the heart of a flatland boy. Lock it in.
Okay.
Show me the money.
There is a yeah.
Fuck.
So you got 4. You got 4 points.
No.
But that's good.
All right, I'm one behind. It's 5-4. It's okay. It's okay.
All of these versions have, like, every stanza has yeah. And no you.
Well, who transcribed this, man? They have yeah or...
I mean, do you want a challenge? I can click on that stanza and make sure it actually plays.
No. It's okay. I'm a gracious loser.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you your next song.
You go next song for me then.
We are going Waving Through a Window.
Yeah, I'll keep it.
Hansen. Yeah, you feel pretty confident in this, don't you?
I feel fairly confident. I put this playlist together like an hour and a half ago. My problem that I have with some of these, and that has bit me in the ass, and why Rayleigh has won more times than I have when we've done this, is because a lot of the songs that I listen to are like they're shower songs. I got the shower speaker. I listen when I'm in the shower, so I know them and I can sing them word for word when I'm singing along to the song. Hearing the lyrics out of place without the notes, everything, the track behind it, it can throw me for a loop sometimes. So, okay, what we going with for the words?
Is anybody waving back at me?
So, at what point? Because I'm thinking that's multiple points in the song, and the lyrics that follow it could be different. Is it or is it not? Because
it is not this phrase specifically occurs 2 times. This is the first of the 2 times.
Okay, perfect. Because that's what I was wondering. Because I know the last one is is anybody waving? But the first time is not that. So what do you think?
Why don't you just like sing your way into it, since you're used to like singing it? Well, sing your way into it. Let's get a taste.
No, because this goes on 9, and I haven't drank enough for that yet. That's why I don't do karaoke.
But you're the person that voluntarily started a podcast.
I don't sing on the podcast.
Come on,
there is a difference,
and that's a mistake. It's a musical podcast.
But I want to keep listeners. I already have enough of a problem with that. I don't want to scare people away. Do you have the lid on your beer? Do you have the lid on your beer right now?
That's how I prefer to drink it.
Are you?
It reminds me of drinking out of a coffee
cup in it. Oh my God.
Yeah,
dude, is it alcohol in there?
I fucking love it like this. Yeah, it's beer, but I love it like this because then it doesn't get on my mustache.
Once.
Try it out, man.
Never once.
It's both infantilizing and just kind of nice.
Okay. Okay. I learned to slam on the brake before I even turned the key before my mistake. Stare. No slipping up.
Sing it. Sing it,
No.
you wimp.
Step out, keep getting burns. Before you learn, we start with stars in our eyes. I'm gonna lock it in. No. Am I completely wrong? I locked it in. Ready?
It's okay. So that means you're final. No take backs on your lock in. Well,
yep.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay. That was good. Your face almost threw me off. Okay.
That's what Corey says.
Your next song is gonna be Stand Up for Judas. Keeping it?
I thought it'd be good to throw that in. Keeping it. I don't know the words out of context super well.
Okay.
And so this could be a challenge, but it's a hell of a song.
Okay. He calmed the wind and the weather.
Because I am a courageous young boy. Unlike you, I'm going to sing my way into this. So,
okay.
Now Jesus was a conjurer, and miracles were his game. He fed the hungry thousands, and they glorified his name. Fed the lame and the lepers, calmed the wind and the weather. Oh man, I don't know what comes next. And part of me thinks I might have flipped. Calmed the wind and weather, fed the lame and lepers.
You do have the option to shuffle to a different point in the song.
I'm going to shuffle to a different. And the wretched flocked to him so their troubles would be taken, is what I'm thinking. I don't think it's absolutely correct, but I'm just going to go, and the wretched flocked to. I'll lock it in. Oh, that's not right.
You got it. If you would have needed... See, that would have been... If I would have used the defensive double, you would have been fucked because you had the wrong word after that. Because you just said, and the wretched flocked to him. It's, and the wretched flocked to touch him. You would have missed the touch. But
to touch him.
You got it.
So their troubles would be taken. They followed Jesus.
And Jesus knew the answer. So, yep, good job. You got it. You got your 5. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. Round 3. Let's get it.
Before I leave.
I know you played the music, we're going to get demonetized. What'd you say? What's the song?
Johnny can't decide.
I'm going to keep it.
Okay. Because this is pretty easy. I am going to use my defensive double. No, I'm going to save my defensive double.
You know what we didn't talk about it.
Points on a defensive double.
That's what I was going to say.
Is they need to be half points. Or is that the risk of running the defensive double is you might give them a boost? Ooh, tough.
I kind of like that you could give them a boost.
Okay.
What about this?
But if they don't get it, they get 0 points? We combine both.
That's what I was going to say. We combine both of them. Yeah. So if they get it, they get 10 points. If they don't get all 10, then they get 0. So it's a risk for both people.
Yep. Okay. Let's do it. I'm going to use my defensive double because
Okay. Oh,
why
also,
not?
we didn't clarify
Smoke
this.
them if you got them.
We can debate this. In the past, when we have done this, we have had where you can decide, like, you don't have to use your double. You can choose whether you want to use it or not strategically. But we're always looking for ways to mix it up. And there could be an argument that it makes it more interesting if you have to use it at some point and you could be forced to use it on your fifth song. Or I don't know. What do you think? What do you want to do? Let's decide now at round 3.
To use it.
Midway
We
point.
have to use it at some point.
Okay.
And let's not make the people endure any more of us talking about rules. And let's just see what you got.
Perfect.
I'm using my defensive double. You got to give me 10 words. If you don't, you get 0 points. If you do, you get 10 points.
Okay. And
Michael doesn't
to make sure we're on the same, when you're doing defensive double, I can't shuffle. Like, I'm locked in at that point as well, right?
Correct.
That was the intent.
You're locked in.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Michael doesn't see why.
Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight to the things that. Well, so as Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight to the things that. Fuck. Did you see the defensive double? Because I had those for.
I bet if you sing your way into it, you'll be able to get it.
I know. Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight to the things that.
I'm shocked right now, to be honest.
Because see, in my head, I'm going to Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight to the things that, and then for some reason, my mind's wanted to go to the things that Johnny. Then I'm like, no, that doesn't make any fucking sense. No, maybe it does. God damn it.
Words, they don't make sense anymore.
Dude, I got like 4 hours of sleep. My brain is fried. Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight to the things. Why the fuck can I not think of what comes next? Son of a bitch. Michael doesn't see, because you said Michael doesn't see why, right? So my count starts after that.
Correct.
Michael does. Correct. Or did you say Michael doesn't see? Did you want to see or see why? See why. Johnny holds so tight to the things that. Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight to things.
I'm glad I used my defensive double, because if you only needed to do 5 words, you would have got it by now.
I have that like locked. I think I need to go back further in the song to what comes before. So, break it to the notes here. Johnny's up pacing. Dude, why the fuck am I now forgetting like this entire song? Dude, like this, the things that. Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight.
Must really be underrated. You don't even know it.
Yeah, no shit.
See that? Call back to the last episode. If you haven't seen it, folks, give it a listen.
Go watch it.
Or a watch. We're beautiful.
It's like I can picture it, and in my head, I can hear everything except the lyrics. I can hear the tone because, like, Vanessa Hudgens comes in at this point too, and it's all 3 of them, like Mark Henry, Vanessa Hudgens, Andrew Garfield. They're all singing things that.
I think you just need to pick a character to fit that 9th word, and just trust your gut. Maybe not. It's not a character. Why did I give you that? It's not a character.
Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight the things.
Mama.
Things that. See, then I was going like, is it seems too? But I don't think so. Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight to things that. Let's go with Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight to the things that try to.
Sorry, you cut out at the worst possible moment. What you said, the things that what?
Try to.
That was me. That's not me messing with you.
I know. That's I said to the things that try to, because I am. I locked
You're
it
locking
in.
it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is incorrect.
What is
actually
it?
On a couple fronts.
Oh.
It's Michael doesn't see why Johnny holds so tight. I hold so tight to the things that Johnny feels are true.
Okay. So it is the things that Johnny. We're throwing the I hold so tight. We're throwing the brackets, the parentheses in there. Not the parentheses.
It's printed. Yeah. It's printed, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. And you didn't ask.
So I got 0 points.
But you
round.
didn't get it right either way.
Yeah, I didn't get it right either way. Okay. Good use.
Still 10-9, baby. Let's go.
Your new invented thing. Okay. Your song is Michael Keaton by Rustin Kelly.
Oof. This is a great song. Once again, I don't know all the words perfectly, but hell of a song. Great chorus.
I'm not going to use my defensive double. Are you using your regular double?
No.
This is round 3, so you have 2 more chances after this.
This is round 3. I do.
Yep.
I do.
Okay. Would that be genocide?
Where are we at in the song?
This is the second time Would That Be Genocide is used.
Let me hit you with a little bit of context.
Okay.
That's the end of the chorus. The chorus goes, it's 3:35 in the morning, and I thought CBD would not get me high. But now I'm thinking, let's see. It's 3:35 in the morning, and I thought CBD would not get me home. But here I am thinking, what if Michael Keaton killed himself in multiplicity? Would that be genocide? So it's either I'm just trying to lay here and enjoy it, or I don't know, or I guess I'm going to shuffle to a different place in the song, because then I'll still have the lead if I get half points.
Okay,
so I'm going to shuffle.
It's the third time in the song that he says, would that be genocide?
You dip.
Which is the final time in the song he says, would that be genocide? Dude, come on, you have to admit that was
okay. So the final tongue. If it's the final tongue let me.
It is.
So you're giving that's the shuffle.
Yeah, that was.
You're shuffling to the final time.
Yep, to the final time. He says, "Would that be?"
Genocide? I was heading back from East of Eden. She was heading back to East LA.
Locking it in.
Locking it in.
Nope, it doesn't matter because I might set this house on fire. Then I was headed back from East of Eden.
Yep, you're right.
So
fuck you.
That actually worked out really well.
That was harsh.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
You still did a defensive double. You totally. Wow, that was bad.
Come on, but if I shuffle, you have the opportunity to do the same thing. So we're going into round 4. We both have to use a double at some point in the next 2 rounds. So I have 10, you have 9. It's a 1-point game. that keeps it interesting. It worked out well.
Okay. All right, Matt.
Now, are you hitting the next in the shuffle? Perfect. Let's rock this shit. Okay. I'm trying to remember what other songs are on my list if I want to double this or wait and double the next one. I'm going to wait. I'm using my double in my final round. Now, I do want to make sure that you are keeping the integrity of the game and you're not picking and choosing songs on the list. You are just hitting the next button on the playlist.
I am absolutely just hitting the next button.
Okay. I'm not going to double this time. I'm going to save my double for the final round. So. Okay. What are my good old David Archuleta lyrics?
Just too much.
Is it the first or second time he says just too much? Because it's said twice in a row.
Second time.
And at what point in the song? Is it the first point in the song that he says just too much?
How much do I have to give you?
I've been telling you that. What point in the song he says it?
This is the only time he says just too much.
Are you sure?
I'm verifying.
Because I think there's two options.
Yeah, this is the only time he says just too much.
Because there's a possibility that locking it in.
No, it's why do I keep running from the truth?
That's the only time that just too much is used twice in there? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find because there's a possibility.
That's because there's a possibility that we could ever. No, you're right. That's the beginning of that phrase. Just too much is the end of that. I think that, isn't it? Like, because there's a possibility is before and it ends with just too much. Yep. Karma.
Yeah, karma, man.
Karma. Glad I didn't double that shit.
I wish you would have.
I don't. Okay. Your song, second to last, Paratrooper's Battle Cry, also by Rustin Kelly.
I'm doubling this.
Okay.
This is one of the Dawson's bedtime songs.
Okay. So Rustin Kelly, because I'm not listening to it. What kind of music is Rustin Kelly? I've never heard of Rustin Kelly.
Rustin Kelly is probably Americana, singer-songwriter kind of thing. You really like Ron Pope.
I was going to say, is he similar to Ron Pope?
Somewhat similar. He's similar to Ron Pope. You know Casey Musgraves?
Yep.
Country/pop artist. She won Album of the Year with Gold Down, which is a phenomenal album, 2018, I believe. Anyway, Rustin Kelly is her ex-husband. And the last song, Michael Keaton, is from his newest album, The Weakness. This is from his first album, first album with his current label, Dying Star. That's basically about him working through addiction. So he wrote the chorus to this song when he was at this like fundamentalist like rehab center that was basically just a work camp. And
interesting.
Because it was all he could afford. And this is Dawson's bedtime songs, but the first line is, feels like I'm cursed when the drugs don't work, so I bought a statue of Jesus. But he messes up and says the statue for Jesus, which I think is pretty funny. It's just like,
nice.
I feel like I'm cursed, so like, Jesus, take a statue, man.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. Well, of course you doubled this song. 3/4 of it is the chorus repeated. I'm just gonna go with, I know you're gonna know it. And Smoked a Bag of Reefer.
Sick of getting lifted, sick of going under, tired of living too much, down in a hole so long. Let's see. Let me just get myself there. Make sure I got this.
What are you looking at?
Feels like I'm cursed when the drugs don't work. So I'm the floor. You want me to pull my camera? My phone's here.
Okay.
Feels like I'm cursed when the drugs don't work, so I bought a statue of Jesus, listened to Abby's old high school demos, and smoked a bag of reefer. I'm sick of getting lifted. Ooh, this is tough because I don't know if I want the I'm. Sick of getting lifted. I think I'm just going to go sick of getting lifted, sick of going under. Locking it.
Locking it in? Dude, those lyrics are not in this song at all. It's I got bills coming up, debts still due.
Ooh.
I don't see those lyrics in this song at all. Are you convolute? No. Those lyrics are in here. It's the third stanza
just later
that it opens after Almost Dead. I'm sick of getting
got
lifted,
bills
sick
coming
of
up,
going under.
debts still due. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry, Rustin. I feel
it keeps it really interesting going into the second round, though, because I'm still with a 1-point lead, 10-9. I have to double this round, though. And the
I'm
intent
glad that
behind
I
it
wasted my double.
That's fair. I still
Do
have
you
my
have to use your
double.
defensive double too?
No.
I think you have to use it. So you have to.
We can't.
Think you have
I mean,
think you got to.
This is
we're making the rules up. Come on. Well, then, come on. I think we got
can't
to.
Just,
you know,
we can't have where you have to use all of them because we didn't use skips.
Why not?
No one used skips. And it's too late now.
All right, skip this next song. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Wait. Here's
because you got a double.
No. This. I will reach an agreement with you now before you hit what the next song is, or maybe you already have, but don't say it.
I already did.
We can have it. Okay. We can have it where I'm forced to use my defensive double on you, but I also have the option to use a skip and use my double on the next song if I want to then at this point.
Yes, of course.
Okay. But you don't have to use your skip. So but we're just, if we're throwing in other things. So I have to use my defensive double on you, but I have the option when you tell me the title, I can skip to my next song and use my double on that one instead of this one if I want.
Absolutely. Allie's song.
I'm keeping it with the double.
You're keeping the...
I'm keeping it with the double. Dude, so I'm in my erasable, rewritable notebook, and look how shitty this pen is writing. I've used 2 different ones, and they're just not trying to do stuff. Forgive my chicken scratch. But okay, Allie's song. It's my double. So I have to get all 5. If I get it, I get 10 points. If I don't, I get nothing. So basically,
you won't go without me.
I also want to say, if I get this, then you cannot beat me. Because with the defensive double, you'll still be a point behind. But if I don't get it, then it's okay.
But also with the defensive double, I need to get all 10.
You can get all 10, but you're down by 1. So if I get this, I only get 5. Yes. No, I get 10 points. So if I get
you get 10 points.
I will be
but what
at
I'm
20.
saying is, if you don't, if I don't get it, though, you can still win because I'll need to get all 10 words correct.
Correct. Okay. So your lyrics were what?
You won't go without me.
Yeah. And you know about me. I know you think you won't go without me. But there's a lot you don't know about me. Locking it in.
No, or maybe I'm just in denial. I don't know where you were at. You won't go without me. Meet me at the spot. You won't go without me, or maybe I'm just in denial.
Good.
I don't know what to tell you.
God damn it.
Little Dicky and Rusty Kelly are never coming on this show. I'm sorry, guys.
No. Well, this sucks. I love this song. So I was thinking of
that's how I feel about the Paratroopers Battle Cry. Rustin, it's Dawson's bedtime song, even though it talks about drugs. Got bills coming up.
So
Dad's still doing got too much on my
I was thinking of, so it's I know you think you won't grow round me is what I was thinking of. And so yep.
Did I stutter?
Fuck. Dude, this is so I have to use my defensive double on this next one. And if you don't get it, this is gonna be the fucking lowest scoring game we've had of this ever. Because I've done 3 goose eggs in a row. You've done 2. Okay. And so
I think I was feeling pretty good about this game.
Dude, I tell you, every time it fucks me. Like that one I felt so confident about. Then
you were
like,
ready.
I didn't even hesitate.
You got the hands going.
I said it.
You were
because that
you were 8-miling all over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just in yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Allie.
The song that came up for you is Johnny Can't Decide.
Skip.
Crazy Land by Eric Church.
All right.
With defensive double.
This is tough.
Dude, this is so okay. So I don't know this song. It's harder when I don't know the song because I'm trying to pick ones that don't repeat themselves if I can, just to make it easier all around.
Yeah.
No, not that one. That's Sorrows.
He's over shaking hands with I told you so. That's out of his mind that just walked in. He's old Insane's new best friend. Lock it in.
What'd you say again? Sorry.
I don't know, but whatever it was, it was right.
No, so you said, so it was no, not that one.
He's over Sorrows. Shaking hands with I told you so. That's out of his mind that just walked in. He's old Insane's new best friend.
Locking it in?
Locking it in.
Okay, you got it.
Crown me.
You're our victor. You're our victor. Insert crown on YouTube. Congratulations. Bradley with 19 points. Me with 10 after an embarrassing 3 round. If you do the rocking,
you missed my
fireworks. I saw it. I mean, you will get to that and you'll get the laser beam, like a light show. No, like the rock. Not pointing. Rock. Do you not have pinkies all of a sudden?
Yeah.
There you go.
So I want to bring up really quick some of my honorable mentions that didn't make it into this game. There's a song called Zip City by the Drive-By Truckers. And it has some of the best lines of any song I've ever heard. And give it a listen.
Okay. Zip City by the Drive-By Truckers. I don't have one. Yeah. If you've listened to last week's episode where I did a mini review, this is going to get weird because I actually haven't recorded this episode yet, but I know I'm going to say it because I saw Shrek the Musical last night.
I'm decided right now.
No, so Shrek the Musical.
No, I'm going to say it because it's the future.
If you're listening to the episodes in order, you've already heard me say this probably, but the song Who I'd Be from Shrek the Musical, surprisingly good. I did not know what to expect with the musical. It was better than I was expecting, and this is the song that closes out the first act, and I really enjoyed it. So Shrek the Musical overall, the national tour, solid cast, looks like a fucking high school production though. Like intentionally they did that, but it set design and
Hmm.
everything, like the creators of it reworked it after 16 years. They said to match their original vision more. So they cut like 3 songs from it. Took out a problematic line in one of the songs about the big bad wolf being a tranny, or people calling him a tranny. That is now taken out of it. Uh, so that's
I
good.
think that's a fair. I think that's a fair change.
Yeah, that was a good call. Like if some that little outdated bothers people, like you're not losing anything by taking that song out of it. You're actually gaining,
No,
not offending people. So
no.
good for them for that. But they went with, they're like, we want to make this seem more like people performing fairy tales. And so it's like the Broadway show, lots of like prosthetics, big sets. The set looks like it's painted cardboard, like a high school production will. Have all the cast is
Did
wearing
that
like,
work for you, or did that? I know you're gonna do the mini episode, but while I'm here,
yeah,
like,
while you're here.
did that work for
At
you?
first,
Did you think it was
it
like
was
a
distracting and threw me off because I'm like, this just feels like I'm like, if I'm going to a national Broadway tour, I want it to feel like I'm seeing a bigger show, not like I can go see my nieces and nephews perform this show. But because the talent of the cast was all great, and then
yeah?
by the end, it ended up working for me. I appreciated how they were doing it, and it
I
worked.
was gonna
So,
say, like, even though visually it might feel like you're in Harvard, Nebraska, seeing some families in like a high school
mhm,
production, the talent, not to disparage the family that does the high school plays, but like the talent level has to be like that weird juxtaposition of the two. It seems like that would be a
yeah,
kind of interesting,
yeah.
interesting experience.
The only downside, so I have my season tickets on Thursday nights, so it's usually
Yeah,
the first show of the tour in town. So it works out well because I never have things planned on like the middle of the week when I work. So I don't need to worry about
yeah,
it conflicting with like weekends or shit like that. But it's usually the first one, and they usually have like the last few times it hasn't been bad, but I've been to some where there have been some like significant audio issues just because it's that first one
yeah,
that they're performing in this. So like last night there are a few issues where like they didn't have the mic flipped on for the performer fast enough, so like the first couple lines that they sang got missed. Um, just minor things like that. That's like they're still working out the kinks. It's the first night, but not enough that it ruins
yeah.
it. The only one that it really ruined it for me was Jagged Little Pill. Their audio issues were awful. That like it was bad. It was so bad.
Did you know? Did you know Dave Coulier dated Alanis Morissette?
I did, and isn't the
Like
you ought to
right
know the rumor
before?
that that's about him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
what he
did.
says.
Hmm. Jagged
We
Little
have the
Pill.
same
Alanis
algorithm, I guess.
Morissette has some bangers. Some of the music is great. One of the heaviest, most depressing musicals I have ever seen. Like you don't leave that show feeling good. Like
Dude,
it's heavy, but
she dropped a song, oh, probably 5, 6 years ago now, called "The Reasons I Drink," and that song hits hard. It's all about addiction and different types of addiction, but it starts with alcoholism, and
yeah,
it's like, oh, like,
that's what
great song, beautifully performed, but it's just like that makes me think in ways that that are uncomfortable.
yeah. The main themes of Jagged Little Pill. Um Drug addiction, overdose, sexual assault, um, and then gender issues. So it's very heavy. Like it is well done,
Yeah.
well written and performed and
Important,
everything, but
important stuff,
and
all
important,
important things to
but
talk about and deal with.
it is very heavy. You're not gonna leave it being
Honestly,
like when you leave Wicked, you
like,
kind of feel good. When you leave Book of Mormon, we felt great. We had so much fun.
oh, felt
This
awesome.
It's one of those you
Hilarious.
just walk out just like silent. And you just don't say anything to the person that you saw it with. You're just like it was the quietest I've ever like after a show. Like
Yeah.
everyone was just quiet. And I'm not saying
Well,
that's a bad
even
thing because you're thinking, you're like things like that, but
there's
heavy.
really even something like Rent, where there's some really deep serious moments throughout, it ends on a relatively high note.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
cake you in the nuts and say, enjoy the rest of your day.
So Rayleigh and I have already reviewed Rent on here as one of our first ones, but I introduced you to Rent.
Yes.
We've discussed it, and you enjoy it quite a bit. What are your feelings of Contact song, Angel's Death song?
Oh, that's the Angel's Death
That
song,
is
the weird
in
sex
the
dream.
Broadway. Like the orgy
Yeah,
sex
yeah.
party
So
song.
I haven't done a deep dive on like what that's supposed to be. Is that supposed to be
There's
like
lots
a
of discussion
fantasy
around it.
or like a, oh yeah, I'm thinking apparently. Is that supposed to be a fantasy or like a, oh, flashback to when I got AIDS?
So that's what I was doing some research. So the thing is, we from what
Let's
I've
ask Jonathan
found, we
Larson.
can't really know because Jonathan Larson died before like the play took off. Like so
Yeah.
he wasn't able to give like his full view and contact. The most common um interpretation that I see that people have is that it is showing all the many ways AIDS is contacted and thinking about that. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I It's very jarring to me. It is a very like Angel singing it, very powerful. Shame out for that.
Yeah.
But and then it's like confusing. It's like, wait, was everyone having an orgy? And like all the because it ends with like they're all in the bed together, like they're having
Yeah.
an orgy, and then Angel's dead. And it's
I don't
weird.
think
Like
so.
it's more for me, maybe I'm just not intelligent enough to interpret it, but for me, uh, it's more distracting than
Certainly
anything
true.
in the musical. I understand why they left that out of the movie. But
Yeah. Yeah. It's so jarring. It's so jarring. I don't have any great um exposition of its purpose or its meaning other than I also feel like it's one of those things that seems to be doing a lot of work for Jonathan Larson that the rest of us are just kind of like, "Whew, that's a lot of sex." And then that's as deep as it feels when you're just like watching the play.
Mhm.
Um
I always give a disclaimer when I'm like, because I really enjoy Rent, and so when I'm recommending it to people, I'm like, I think you should watch the film Broadway version because I think it's better, and they leave full
yeah.
versions. And especially after watching the filmed Broadway version, watching the movie, it makes me like I watched the movie first, and I kind of liked it. Then I watched the film Broadway version and listened to the soundtrack more, and I cannot stand the movie as much. Like I like that's the original cast for the most part. I like that,
Yeah.
but
I think Rosario
they
Dawson did a great job.
Rosario Dawson was fantastic. I don't like that they shortened Goodbye
But
Love. I don't like that they toned it down, and I
oh,
don't like that they changed sung lines into spoken lines of dialogue that just sounds so
especially
fucking
the phone
awkward,
calls.
especially the phone
What
calls.
kills me is the phone calls, I think, are an incredible kind of through line and motif throughout the entire musical.
Mhm.
And taking that out of the movie, you miss some of the levity, you miss some of the best kind of moments that give like context to characters' backstories in a lighthearted way that informs the character without being distracting emotionally.
Mhm.
I think that that was a huge mistake. I also there's something like Out Tonight and the
Mhm.
physicality of that performance on that set that just elevates that other than like
Right.
Rosario Dawson did great, but you don't get the same performative
It makes
feeling
it
from
feel
that
so
song.
different with it being, like, in the
Yeah.
Kit Kat Club. Like, it
Yeah.
feel not Kit Kat Club,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
Cabaret. Or is it the Kit Kat? Cat Scratch Club
No, no,
is
no.
what it is
Cat
in Rent.
Scratch
Kit
Club.
Kat Club is
Yeah.
Cabaret. But yeah,
They
it
used
just
to
feels so
tie me
different.
up,
Like, it feels
tie
completely
you
different
up,
with it
tie you
taking
up.
place in the club
Yeah.
in the movie.
I really
Um,
don't like that.
I don't either.
Because
I would agree.
yeah, it was just not uh you lose a lot of the magic of the live performance.
That's right.
So, which is also kind of how I felt. I know that they're two totally different musicals, but I would love to see In the Heights on stage rather than the movie version.
I
Like, I would
agree.
love to see the energy of some of those big numbers with a full cast on a stage, not the like overly expansive, like the pool scene.
Right. The best version, like I thought with the
What's
opening number
the
in the
one about the
Heights, I
barrio?
think.
That one I think would be dope on stage.
Yep. The opening number in the Heights, I felt like was adapted really well for the screen and how they did that and the
Excellent.
dancing. I thought
Yeah.
that was really good. I don't care for 96,000. I felt like got the I don't know. It was weird for me, like I said, in the
Got
pool.
too big. It got
The
too big.
mhm. Um,
But
and
think
so,
about,
that one
like, how would you do
it
Hamilton as a movie?
yeah, it would be weird. It
It
would
would
be
be
weird.
s
Like,
it
Hamilton
would be
needs to
so
live in
weird.
the stage version. Um, and the other thing that I don't like
And
it
I
in the
bet In the
Heights,
Heights is
the number with, Benny and Nina at the end when they're dancing on the side of the building. I'm like, "What are we doing now?" I
yeah,
didn't like that at
I
all.
wholeheartedly agree. I didn't
Um,
like that either. It's one of those, like, just because you can doesn't mean you should, which is where, and
right.
we talked about this with Les Mis, where I think they went right, um, in trying to capture as much as they could the
Mhm.
stage feel with
Yeah.
the way they recorded the performances, and even I think the way they shot and
Mhm.
conceived of the most of the scenes, not all of them.
Yeah.
I also, if we could kind of append this to our Les Mis, kind of go back retroactively.
Mhm. Yep, yep, yep.
But we forgot to talk about uh, with Les Mis, what is one of the best like Les Mis homage numbers in all musicals, shows, movies, whatever, and that's Today We Rise in Gallop.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
that entire number is just riffing on and kind of satirizing Les Mis.
Mhm. It
We
was
will
it's gr
march and we'll fight for the
so,
cause of good and right.
fun story about
We
that,
didn't even mention it once.
we didn't, that is disappointing, 'cause we might have to do an episode one of these times just about Gallivant, just
We
chatting
should
about
do
that because I
Gallivant.
love
We need to do
Gallivant.
Gallivant. I
Because,
do too.
I was talking about, with our legal counsel at work, um, that randomly, I don't remember how we got on, but we're talking about Gallivant. He's like, "I love Gallivant." And I'm like, "I think you are the only person that I like other person because I I don't know many other people that have seen it." And so we had talked about that. 10 minutes later, he had, like, got to the bathroom, he was walking back to his office in the office, and he was just, like, looked at me and started singing "Today We Rise," and other people in the office are like, "What the fuck is
Awesome.
happening right now?" It was great.
It's
It's
so
great.
good.
It is good.
We will march and we'll fight for
But
the cause of good and right. Though the odds of us
that's great.
surviving
I
are
also need to rewatch.
ridiculously
I'm due for a
slight.
rewatch of Gallivant.
I
Um,
am too. My
be
dragon pal and me gets me every time though.
mhm. So much of like,
All right,
it's
we'll
such a
do
good show.
Gallivant. We'll do Matilda next
We'll
time you
do
bring me
Matilda
on.
next, and we'll do
Then
Gallivant
we'll
at
get going
some
to
point. That
Gallivant.
might need to be a ways down because I don't know when I'm gonna have a good time to rewatch it. But we will eventually do a Gallivant episode. But that's gonna do it for this. Brad is the champion and the victor. So maybe we will revisit this at some point as well. I do like the defensive double. I don't necessarily love being forced to do that. So we'll maybe like strategically, I think that maybe we don't make you use your double or your defensive double. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We're constantly changing things. So thank you all for joining us. Brad, do you have any last thoughts before we sign off? Because we're at over an hour now.
Listen to Eric Dillon. Listen to Rustin Kelly. Listen to the Drive By Truckers. Let me hit you with some truckers wisdom as my last words.
Okay, trucker's
Whiskey's
wisdom.
harder to keep than a woman, and it's half as sweet. But women without whiskey's hard to beat.
And there you go. I can't top that.
Have a good
So
night.
thank you, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to go down once more. Later. I'll make you say it the next time. I'll force you to.
I won't say it.